Beep, 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 beep. Good morning, all. Welcome to the Court of EDI. Jester, how the devil are we? Okay. I'm not closing the window. That's why I'm sat here wrapped up like somebody in the Arctic, right? It's fine weather. It's getting the better of me. But it is a glorious sunny morning this morning, so I'm going for a potter. Anyway, let's do something quickish to give you a bit of a flavour of what's going on in the mad, mad world of gender and everything else that comes with it. So I've got the old subscribe, right? Like, subscribe. If you want to join, there's a join button down there. Just under the video is the join button, so you can become a Jesterite and see some of the content that I do for them. It doesn't mean you won't get content from me like this. You still will. They just get it a few hours earlier than you. That's all. It means they can have it without adverts. Okay, so that helps with the demonetization and all the stuff that goes on with it when I say things I shouldn't that YouTube don't like. Well, there we go. So what have we got today? Well, bankers. A bunch of bankers. What can I tell you about bankers? This is surreal. I got it and I was looking at it going, no, that can't possibly be true. But apparently it is. Those of us who members, customers, whatever it may be, of Lloyd's Bank. I'm a customer of Lloyd's Bank. Right, what they playing at. So as the Lloyd's in town, I'm going to pop in. See if we can have a word. Right. So Lloyd's Bank comes under fire for offering free counselling to staff, appalled by language targeting the trans and non-binary community at the Tory party conference. No such thing. The trans and non-binary community. It's like you walk up to them and go, take me to your leader. And they go, there's two of them. It's just no such thing. Absolute rubbish. So it was reported in the Daily Mail, which is the links are in the doopers as usual. So here we go. Lloyd's Bank was under fire last night after offering free counselling to staff appalled by talk from the Conservative Party. I mean, I laugh, but it's not funny. This level of emotional incontinence, right, means the ones that were taught the crap, how they were taught, because that's what it is, right? It's about teaching. The crap they were taught, they're now in their early 30s. So I estimate, unless we get our skates on, we've already got 12 years of these loons who are going to be coming into the workplace. We've got to start identifying them and keep them out. 12 years of these loons, right? And even if we've got 12 years of these loons, the ones up top that are pushing it, that were responsible for screwing up the education system, are going to be there for another 10 or 12, maybe more. Right, we're going to have to move fast if we're going to keep these swine out of businesses. And they're going to pull them to pieces. They're going to destroy them. This is what happens. It destroys everything, doesn't it? Yes, we know this, right? So the unusually party political move saw the bank offer its 30,000 staff professional help via Bupa. I mean, if you're a customer, you're paying for this. They're using the money they make from you to weaken their staff and introduce their staff to victimhood via gender and non-binary nonsense. That's what they're doing, all right? If the staff could go to Bupa, if they found themselves concerned by trans rhetoric at the government's Manchester gathering, can you imagine Bupa going, "Oh, this is money for old rope, innit?" They must be going, "Oh, lovely, lovely. Yeah, let's say, what, £200 a session?" They're rubbing their bloody hands. The conference saw Trade Minister Kemi Badenoch state that she would not apologise for fighting for a society that knows what a woman is, while Prime Minister Rishi Sunak appeared to suggest that trans activists were bullying people into agreeing with their views. He told the conference in his keynote speech, patients should know when hospitals are talking about men or women, and we shouldn't get bullied into believing that people can be any sex they want to be. They can't. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. That's just common sense. Right? Which has obviously sent Lloyd's Bank staff into a spiral. Well, why? What have you been doing? Recruiting them specifically? Excuse me, are you weak, insane and anti-science? Yes. Are you willing to be rude, ignorant and violent to your fellow man? Yes. Do you despise women and gay people? Yes. Great, we've got the position for you. Come and join Lloyd's Bank. Main competencies required: misogyny, homophobia and an insane need to medicalise children. Is that what's been going on? Is it? So we find that Sarah Underhill, who is the resource director at Lloyd's, she declares herself by her pronouns, she, her. What are they doing? Get her out. Move her. Get her out quick and do it quick, right? She, her, wrote an email to employees last Friday, like many of you. I was appalled to hear the rhetoric coming from the Conservative Party conference this week, targeting the trans and non-binary community, as if they hadn't been targeting everybody else with their nonsense for years. Hearing language that fuels hate and division is shocking to all our trans and non-binary colleagues. Please know that at Lloyd's Bank Group, you are not alone. You are valued. You are welcome here. Yep, as long as I imagine it's not in her bedroom when it comes to people who are asylum seekers. She's that type. She's got to be. There's a bottle of £90 Chablis in the cupboard somewhere and a cheese that, smeared off the back of a goat from Dordogne. That's £110 a kilogram. She's one of them, isn't she? She's got to be, right? I'm aware of the brilliant work undertaken in the last few days by our trans working group, affinity groups. See, the corporates can do this because they're probably too big to fail, but you put this in smaller companies and it wrecks them. It should wreck the corporates too. It should wreck the corporates too. We need to amend the Companies Regulations Act. We need to amend it so that they cannot do this, right? If that's going to stop them from doing it, it's the only thing we can do. Now, this is funny, it's amusing and sort of pithy. I'd like to know how many people take it up, actually. Because it's likely that a lot of this exists in her Chablis quaffing, goat's cheese eating head. Right, okay? I imagine that it is. But we still can't get away from the fact that this is a major bank, a high street bank, interfering in a very public way in the political processes of the UK. Now, the Financial Conduct Authority, I think they're called, the FCA, I believe they're called, I imagine should be mobilised to deal with this and deal with it very swiftly. I'm not so sure that they will. I think the FCA is probably captured as well, as we know most organisations are. But it's not really a good look, is it, for Lloyd's? And it certainly isn't something that makes me as a Lloyd's customer feel anywhere near safe. I feel less safe with them than I did yesterday. And I think that would be true of many of you, though you can tell me about that in the comments. This is the ESG goals in operation, folks. If you don't know what they are, you need to go and have a look. This is the WEF. This is UNESCO, right? This is UNESCO and their goals. There's a blog on my Substack about this, right? These are UNESCO goals. I think it's important that we may have to recognise that globalisation has failed, multiculturalism has failed, that we might have to pull back and take stock and say, hang on, we're not doing any of this till we got a proper look, right? Because the Liberals and the left have been allowed to run away with themselves. And people scream, but it's the Tories that are in power. This isn't about politics, it's about culture. It's about culture. And I keep having to say it, and that's fine. I'll keep saying it as long as it takes. And we are the bad guy. Are we the bad guy? Am I? All the stuff that comes with it. So from my perspective, go and have a read of this and see what you think, because it's important that we recognise that this is going to start happening more and more. And these corporates think they're running the damn country. And somebody needs to put them back in their box. I'd split them up. That's what I'd do. I wouldn't let them get this big in the first place. Split them up completely. Wouldn't let them get this big in the first place. But it gets bigger than that because Lloyd's Bank are owned by somebody else who's owned by somebody else. And then you get up there to BlackRock and Vanguard. But you talk to your average person about that and they think you're a tin hat loon. Loon! Which, of course, we may well be when we ask ourselves, am I the bad guy? Nevertheless, I think that's probably enough of Chablis quaffing, goat leg scraping, cheese eating hobbits called Underhill. There must be something better for you to be doing, woman. I don't know why it is every time we do this. Every time we look, there's a woman. At the behest of some man, there's a woman. These handmaidens, they're everywhere. So, yeah, go and have a look and see what you think. And do let me know in the comments. I think it's unconscionable that Lloyd's Bank think this is okay. Absolutely unconscionable. And the Financial Conduct Authority must act quickly. But that's enough waffle for today. I'm going to go and have a walk in the sun, cold though it may be. And I'll see you guys later.